Level 1. The Broken Recruit. You are staring at the glowing screen of your banking app. The bold red numbers read exactly -$500. You were laid off from your dead-end corporate job 3 agonizing months ago. And the bright pink eviction notice taped to the front door of your cramped apartment means you have exactly 72 hours before you are sleeping on the concrete. You have no family safety net, no friends willing to loan you another dime, and your credit cards have been declined at the grocery store twice this week. You are entirely, completely done. Hoping for some kind of clerical error, or a miracle, you walk down to the lobby to check your empty mailbox. Instead of bills, you find a single, heavy black envelope. There is no return address and no postage stamp. Someone physically placed it there. You tear it open to find a premium, gold-embossed card. The words printed on it send a chill down your spine. Purpose and prosperity await if you give yourself up completely. Send a message to this phone number if you are ready. You stare at the 10 digits. Your logical brain screams that this is a scam, a cult, or a cruel joke, but logic is a luxury for people who can afford to eat. You have absolutely nothing left to lose. You pull out your phone, type the word ready, hit send, and wait for the end. Level 2. The Blind Courier. You wake up the next morning expecting nothing, but outside your apartment door is a sleek, unmarked black briefcase and a completely clean burner phone. The phone buzzes. The text message contains a single GPS coordinate in downtown Chicago and a strict delivery time. You are no longer unemployed. You are a courier for the invisible world. Your job requires 0 questions and perfect obedience. You deliver heavy, locked briefcases to luxury hotel suites, underground parking garages, and private airport tarmacs. You never see the faces of the people handing you the bags, but you recognize the people receiving them. You hand a briefcase to a prominent federal judge. You hand another to a tech billionaire who regularly appears on the cover of Forbes. You hand one to a beloved, highly moralizing state governor. You start to realize that the reality presented on the evening news is an absolute fabrication. The people who supposedly hate each other in public are secretly shaking hands and exchanging untraceable capital in the shadows. For 6 months, you keep your mouth shut, keep your head down, and follow every text message perfectly. You are rewarded with a bank account that suddenly has $250,000 sitting in it. You move out of your terrible apartment. You buy tailored clothes. But late at night, the burner phone buzzes with a terrifying reminder of your new reality. Remember who pulled you from the dirt. Remember who owns you. Level 3. The Eraser. You are 26. You have proven that you can follow instructions without succumbing to moral panic. The text messages stop giving you delivery routes and start giving you targets. You are moved into a private, highly exclusive intelligence firm operating out of a windowless high-rise in New York City. You are no longer delivering packages. You are delivering salvation to the elite. You are a digital eraser. When a prominent U.S. senator gets caught in a hotel room with illegal narcotics, the police are not called. You are. Before the sun even comes up, you have hacked into the hotel's security mainframes and permanently deleted the surveillance footage. You wire $50,000 into the offshore accounts of the hotel staff to buy their permanent silence. You completely wipe the senator's digital footprint. When an investigative journalist gets dangerously close to exposing a massive corporate embezzlement scheme tied to the order, you don't threaten her. You simply type a few lines of code. You freeze her bank accounts, alter her digital medical records to show a history of severe paranoia, and plant highly illegal contraband on her personal laptop. By morning, her life is destroyed, her career is permanently discredited, and nobody will ever believe a word she writes. You sit in your ergonomic chair, sipping a $15 latte, watching the news report her downfall. You feel a brief flicker of guilt, but it is quickly smothered by the $1 million bonus deposited into your account. You realize that morality is just a boundary designed to keep poor people trapped. You have transcended boundaries. Level 4. The Market Phantom. You are 30 years old. The Order realizes your analytical skills are being wasted on cleaning up petty scandals. You are relocated to a massive private equity firm in Manhattan. You are given the title of Senior Vice President of Acquisitions, but your real job is large-scale economic sabotage. Your burner phone dictates the future of the American economy. You receive highly encrypted messages telling you exactly what the market will do weeks before it actually happens. The Order decides that a specific sector of the American manufacturing industry needs to be consolidated. You are ordered to aggressively short the stocks of 3 major U.S. companies. You leverage billions of dollars in dark pool capital against them. You coordinate a massive artificial panic. Within a week, the companies collapse. Thousands of hardworking blue-collar Americans lose their pensions, their jobs, and their homes. While families are crying on the evening news, you are sitting in a mahogany boardroom, purchasing their bankrupt companies for pennies on the dollar on behalf of the Order's shell corporations. You engineered the crash, and you bought the ashes. You personally clear $15 million on the trade. You buy a sprawling, multi-million-dollar penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows. Your Wall Street colleagues look at you with absolute awe, thinking you are a financial prodigy. They don't understand that you aren't predicting the market. You are taking dictation from the people who control it. Level 5, the culture architect. You are 34. The highest echelons of the Illuminati recognize that financial control is meaningless if the public ever unites against them. To maintain ultimate control, the population must remain permanently divided. You were pulled out of Wall Street and flown to Silicon Valley. You were placed as a shadow director inside one of the world's largest social media and search engine monopolies. Your job is not coding, it is psychological warfare. You write and deploy sophisticated algorithms specifically designed to amplify absolute outrage. You know that anger is the most profitable human emotion. You manipulate the news feeds of hundreds of millions of Americans. If a controversial political event occurs, your code ensures that the most extreme, hateful, and divisive perspectives go instantly viral. You intentionally trap the population in radicalized digital echo chambers. You orchestrate a targeted digital campaign that fuels a massive nationwide culture war. While the citizens are screaming at each other in the streets over manufactured political drama, tearing their own neighborhoods apart, the order quietly pushes sweeping corporate deregulation laws through Congress completely unnoticed. You sit in your San Francisco mansion, watching the chaos unfold on multiple screens. You have learned the ultimate secret of the elite. Human anger is not a natural occurrence. It is a highly manufactured product, and you are the chief engineer. Level 6, the K Street Whisperer. You are 39. The digital realm is secured. Now you are sent to Washington, D.C., to manipulate the physical laws of the nation. You operate out of an ultra-luxury lobbying firm on K Street. You do not run for office. Running for office is for narcissists who want their faces on television. You prefer to be the invisible hand that moves the pen. When Congress is preparing to pass a massive 3,000-page omnibus spending bill, you are the one sitting in a private, smoke-filled room at 2 a.m. writing the actual text. The elected officials who introduced the bill haven't even read it. You slip microscopic, highly complex tax loopholes deep into the legislation. These specific paragraphs seem like boring bureaucratic jargon, but they legally transfer billions of taxpayer dollars directly into the order's corporate monopolies. You draft environmental policies that sound green and progressive to the public, but secretly grant the Illuminati's holding companies exclusive rights to the nation's fresh water supplies. You are entirely invisible to the voting public, yet the decisions you make over expensive steak dinners affect the daily lives, the paychecks, and the futures of hundreds of millions of people. You have realized that democracy is a beautifully staged theater production, and you are sitting comfortably in the director's chair. Level 7, the Proxy Warlord. You are 45. Your domestic operations are flawless, and you are finally invited to a heavily guarded, classified compound in the mountains. You sit at a table with 12 of the most terrifyingly powerful billionaires, defense contractors, and former intelligence directors on Earth. They do not shake your hand. They simply inform you that you have been cleared for international operations. Your new battlefield is geopolitics. The order requires exclusive access to a massive deposit of rare earth minerals located in a developing nation in South America. The current president of that nation is a stubborn nationalist who refuses to sell the mining rights to foreign corporations. You do not send the U.S. military. You sit in a secure communications vault in Switzerland and orchestrate a silent coup. You use untraceable offshore accounts to funnel $20 million to violent radical opposition militias. You wire $10 million into the Swiss bank accounts of 3 corrupt military generals willing to turn a blind eye. You pay international journalists to flood the global media with stories of the president's alleged human rights abuses. Within 6 months, the capital city is engulfed in artificial chaos. A violent military uprising forces the president to flee the country in the dead of night. A new, pro-democracy leader takes over. This new leader has secretly been on your payroll for 4 years. 2 days after he takes office, he signs the exclusive mining rights over to your corporations. You just overthrew a sovereign government and secured trillions of dollars in resources without ever touching a weapon. Level 8, the Supreme Magus. You are 52. You are no longer just a brilliant operative. You have transcended into modern mythology. You are officially initiated as one of the Elite 12, granted the mythic title of Supreme Magus. You are gifted a private, heavily fortified island in the middle of the Caribbean, but this is not a peaceful vacation home. It is the ultimate global blackmail factory. You host lavish, hyper-exclusive summits on this island. You fly in the most powerful people on the planet on untraceable private jets, European royalty, American senators, Wall Street billionaires, and Hollywood elite. They come for the unparalleled luxury, the absolute secrecy, and the dark, illegal indulgences they cannot acquire anywhere else. But what none of them realize is that the entire island is a trap. Every single room, every hallway, and every private suite is heavily wired. You are recording everything in high definition. Every whispered conversation, every illegal transaction, and every horrifying compromising act is captured and stored on heavily encrypted servers in a mountain vault. You now possess the ultimate leverage. These world leaders belong to you forever. When the order needs a specific international treaty signed or a trillion-dollar corporate merger approved, you don't even have to threaten them directly. You simply remind them of the island and they comply immediately. Terrified of the footage going public, you hold the entire world hostage with a server rack. Level 9, the global reset. You are 58. The world's population is growing too independent. Cryptocurrencies and decentralized communication are giving regular people too much freedom. The Illuminati requires a massive global reset to consolidate absolute power, and you are chosen to engineer the crisis. You do not use a virus. You use the infrastructure of modern life. You coordinate a highly advanced, synchronized cyber attack on the global supply chains and the international banking grid. For 3 terrifying weeks, the global economy grinds to a complete halt. Cargo ships freeze at the ports. ATMs stop working. Grocery store shelves are stripped bare. The public descends into absolute primal panic. When the governments of the world are completely paralyzed and begging for a solution, you step out of the shadows and provide one. The order miraculously restores the systems, but with a new condition. The old financial system is declared obsolete and insecure. You introduce a mandatory centralized global digital currency. Every single citizen is forced to adopt a digital wallet completely controlled by the order's centralized banks. You have achieved the ultimate goal, total economic enslavement. If a citizen protests against the order, you don't arrest them. You simply press a button, freeze their digital wallet, and they can no longer buy food or pay rent. You have turned the entire planet into a digital prison. Level 10, the untouchable. You are 64. You rule your empire from a sprawling, heavily guarded mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. You sit in your living room with the other true masters of the universe, drinking vintage wine and mapping out the future of humanity. But absolute power breeds absolute paranoia. A terrifying problem emerges, a betrayal from within the 12. Someone is leaking highly classified operational details. You know that federal agents are parked in unmarked vans outside your mansion. You know that a massive, unprecedented joint task force consisting of the FBI, Interpol, and the Department of Justice is quietly building a monumental RICO case against you. They have compiled thousands of pages of evidence regarding your international money laundering, the cyber attacks, and the human trafficking operations on your Caribbean island. But you laugh at them. You are completely unbothered. You own the senators who oversee the FBI. You own the federal judges who will hear the case. You own the media networks that will report on it. You have survived investigations before, and you are absolutely certain you will survive this one. You believe you are a god. You are completely untouchable. Level 11, the fall. You're sitting in your leather armchair, watching the evening news broadcast of the global financial recovery you supposedly orchestrated when you hear it. It is not the wind. It is the deafening, violent roar of rotor blades. Helicopters are descending on your Palm Beach compound. Sirens wail in the distance. Your elite security detail is shouting in pure panic over their radios. The heavy oak front doors of your mansion explode inward under the force of a breaching ram. Dozens of FBI agents, Interpol operatives, and U.S. Marshals flood into your living room, laser sights dancing across your chest. They throw you to the cold marble floor. They secure heavy steel handcuffs tightly around your wrists. After decades of ruling the world from the comfortable shadows, you are dragged out into the blinding, humiliating light of flashing police cruisers. Level 12, the Fallen Angel, the End. You are locked in a solitary cell in the Metropolitan Correctional Center, MCC, in Manhattan, one of the most secure federal holding facilities in the United States. You are completely isolated from the general population, but you are not panicking. You are entirely, terrifyingly calm. Your elite defense attorneys are already filing mountains of motions. You know exactly how this game is played. You know that favors are currently being called in across Washington, D.C. Judges are being quietly bribed, and key witnesses will mysteriously decide not to testify. You are absolutely certain you will be walking out of this concrete box on bail within the week. You have orchestrated these exact cover-ups a dozen times before. You sit on the edge of your hard cot, staring at the steel door, waiting for your lawyer to arrive. The heavy locking mechanism clicks. The heavy door slowly swings open. It is not your lawyer. It is not the regular corrections officer who brings your meals. It is a man you have never seen before, wearing a guard's uniform that fits him poorly. He steps completely inside the tiny cell. He does not speak. He closes the solid steel door behind him until it locks with a sickening thud. You open your mouth to demand who he is, but he moves with terrifying, lethal speed. You don't even have time to raise your hands to defend yourself. In your final fading seconds of consciousness, as the cold reality of the cell floor rushes up to meet you, you finally understand the ultimate, devastating truth. You thought you were the master of the universe. You thought you were the architect of the order. But you were never the master. The Illuminati protects its own, right up until the exact moment they become a liability. You served your purpose. You consolidated the wealth. You took the massive public fall. Now, your time is permanently up. Your death will be ruled a tragic, unpreventable suicide. The news cycle will obsess over it for a month, and then the world will quickly move on. And somewhere, in a cramped, freezing apartment in a sprawling American city, a desperate, broke 20-year-old staring at an eviction notice will walk down to their lobby and find a heavy black envelope in their empty mailbox. The machine never stops. The cycle never ever ends.